Hey everybody, and welcome back to Move with Katie's 31-day yoga journey. Today is day 10, and we are going to be talking about the basics of backbending. So in a lot of yoga asana practice, you will find a lot of backbending postures. And these postures have a few different locations which are essential to finding mobility. So first is the shoulders. We really are going to be thinking about opening through the shoulders in order to provide more space, because our spine has the thoracic spine that's up here between the shoulders, and it's not very flexible. And then we have the lumbar spine, which is a little more flexible, but again, the spine is meant to keep you vertical, right? So a lot of our opening is going to come from the shoulders, the scapula, the chest area, and then also come from activation in the glutes and opening through our hip flexors. So the whole body is involved. It's not just a back bend, it's a whole body opening and activation. So to get started today in our practice, I want to take a moment just to ground down, then we'll warm up through our shoulders, and then we'll move through a variety of back bends nice and slowly, practicing our alignment and the sensations that we might be feeling in our body during these different back bends whenever you might find them in one of my classes or a class that you go to in studio, or whenever you're even in your home practice on your own. Okay, so let's take a seat and just take a minute to ground down, closing the eyes, inhaling, big breath in. And as you exhale, maybe gently parting the lips and sighing, letting everything go. Let's take a couple more rounds of breath. And then let's place the hands at heart center with an intention of being brave and open to new sensations today. Then gently place the hands over the eyes, flutter the eyelashes open, come back to the light in the room. Awesome job. From here, let's sweep the arms high, inhale. And as you exhale, drop the right hand behind, fingers land between the shoulder blades, and then grab hold of the right elbow with the left arm, beginning to open up. In this posture, really ground around root the tailbone down, and make sure the chin is lifted. We're not curving in, okay? Maybe in this posture, you're feeling that you're ready for a little bit more of a stretch. So you take the left arm, drop it down behind, and reach the fingertips up to interlace with the right fingertips, taking cow face pose. Again, really elongate through the spine, tuck the chin slightly towards chest, but reach up through the crown of the head. Nice opening moments here. Then let's exhale, gently undo the interlace of the fingers or the elbow, and let's switch sides. So left hand drops behind and the shoulders. Right hand comes up to grab hold of left elbow and then invites those fingertips a little further down back body, maintaining the integrity of the spine. Or maybe you reach right fingertips around and up to interlace with the left fingers, sending one elbow up and the other elbow down, actively engaging the core to strengthen and lengthen the spine. And then let's open up the fingertips, and we're going to come all the way down onto the belly. Actually, let's take a couple cat-cows here. I'm always doing this. Okay, take a couple cat-cows, facing the fingertips forward, putting the knees underneath the hips. Inhale, drop the belly. You'll start to feel that back bending through the lumbar, right? If we lift the tailbone first, then the lumbar spine bends, then our shoulders begin to open, collarbones widen. That's the thoracic spine that we're getting into. Exhale, let's tuck the tailbone, rounding through the back body. Nice counterbalance. We'll be taking some counterbalancing postures today as we open up. Then inhale, drop the belly. Notice the sensations. Exhale, puff up the heart. Press the ground away. Then let's go ahead and everyone come all the way down to the belly. We're gonna do one more shoulder opening posture before we get into our back body. So take your right arm and send the fingertips long. We're gonna roll over that shoulder, opening up. So you're rolling onto the right hip, placing the left foot behind the knee, pressing into the left palm to give you a little bit of torque, stretching through that right shoulder. Just embracing these moments of stillness. Really taking them to settle in and let the mind clear. And then let's exhale, roll over to the belly, reach the left arm out, plant the right palm near the right rib cage. Lift the right heel in towards glute and then drop it over behind the left leg. Using the palm to gently help press you away from the right side of your mat. Finding any areas of tension, breathing into them, and then exhale, letting go. And then inhale, let's roll over to the front body. We're going to bring the fingertips next to the rib cage and just get nice and comfortable here on the floor. And then we're going to take a baby cobra. So our first little back bending posture. In our baby cobra, you might start with your forehead on the ground and start with the palms right next to the rib cage. Pull the elbows up towards the sky and then towards one another. And then when we lift our head, we're going to inhale and we're going to see if you can lift from the back of the shoulders. See if you can lift from the diaphragm area. And then we're going to not use the hands, okay? So we're using the back body. You might actively engage the glutes and press the tops of the feet into the earth. Inhale, lift here. Exhale. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale. And then maybe you press your hands into the earth and pull the heels of the hands back, pull the elbows back to feel the sensation squarely in the back body and not in the arms. And then let's exhale, lower. Release everything, shake the hips side to side. Maybe let the hands go along behind you. And then let's bring the palms in one more time next to the rib cage. Actively engage the tops of the feet to the floor. Inhale, lift the heart. And this time we're going to hover the hands above the floor so that we know that we're really using that back body to lift. So hovering the hands. Let's hold for 10. Not forgetting to breathe. Maybe on the inhale you lift a little higher. Maybe not. All just options, play with them. 3, 2, 1, lowering down. Nice work. Next, inhale. Let's press with the palms, shrug the shoulders together, and feel that same lift, that same sensation, and then just use the arms to extend the rib cage forward and then bend back. So we're making sure to lengthen up out of the hips, give that spine somewhere to go, actively engage the glutes, press them into the top of the floor, and feel that back bend. Nice work. You'll notice that your collarbones are broad and your heart is reaching forward. Back bends and heart openers are, in my book, synonymous. It's a lot of the work that we do to open the heart is to do back bends is to find space and open the heart. Exhale, let's lower all the way down. Let the forehead rest. Maybe let the hands go along behind you and shift the weight back and forth, releasing any tension that may have built up in the low back. And then from here, let's plant the palms. And we're going to inhale, lift the chest. And then as you exhale, send the arms long behind you. This is our locust pose. So maybe you stay here because, this is enough. Maybe you interlace the fingers and send them long behind you, bringing the palms together. And maybe you bring the toes and the heels together and you lift the legs. Okay? Wherever you are, let's stay for 5. Deep breaths, not counts. See if you can lift higher on the inhale, roll the shoulders more open. Actively engage the glutes to lift the legs higher. And then exhale, lower everything down. Undo the interlace of the fingers. Shift side to side. Maybe if you did the interlace of the fingers, this time do that first behind the back body. Keep the elbows bent. And then as you inhale, we're going to lift everything up at the same time. So everybody inhale on the floor. Exhale, let it go, prepare. And then as you inhale, lift. Send the fingertips back. Actively engage the glutes. Point the feet away. See if you can lift the fists a little higher. You got it. And exhale, lower everything down. So that is our locust pose. Baby cobra, locust, some of our first back bends. We'll remain here on our belly. We're going to take Dayardandasana, bow pose, okay? For bow pose, this requires quad flexibility, hamstring strength, hip strength, all sorts of good stuff. So the first thing you might want to do is bring your left leg in towards hips and see if you can catch hold of the ankle. If this feels really difficult, then you may want to do a one-legged bow pose here. No problem with that. That is an awesome place to be. In fact, let's all do it together. So bring that left leg in towards glute and prop up onto the right forearm so that it's parallel with the top of your mat. Shine the heart forward, collarbones broad. See if you can bring your rib cage forward on the mat to give your spine more space. And then as we inhale, we're going to kick the foot up and away from the glutes into that back hand, okay? One-legged bow pose. Actively engage the glutes, press the top of the back foot into the floor. See if you can open through the shoulder to find more lift and more space. Let's take a few deep breaths. This is a good way to practice. If you've got a strap and you're working towards a full bow pose, this might be a good place to wrap that strap around the arm and practice flipping the grip. We're not going to do that today, but it's possible. Exhale, lower that leg down. Then let's take that on the other side. Shift the weight in the hips, let go of any tension you've built up. And then bring the left arm so that it faces forward parallel to the mat. Bring the right heel in towards glute and reach the right arm back to catch behind the ankle. Flex that foot, and then as you inhale, lift the heart, lift the chest, lift the leg from the hamstring, from the hip, kick the foot back. Find that extra space. Nice work. All right, from here, we're going to take that full bow. Just see if it feels available. This is all just fun. We're just playing with postures, trying to feel the sensations kind of in isolation before we move these postures into a vinyasa practice. So to do the full posture, bring both heels in towards glute. You're gonna reach the arms back. You can grab on the outsides of the ankle. That's where I prefer. Or you can grab on the insides, but I find that the outsides you're going to get a lot better tension. You'll squeeze the legs together more. So squeeze the legs together, flex into the feet, roll the shoulders back behind you, and then inhale, lift the chest, lift the feet back and up. Okay? Nice work. Maybe then in your practice you play with rocking back and forth, using the rib cage. Maybe you play with pointing and unpointing the toes. Maybe you play with flexing the grip. But anywhere you are, we're noticing the opening in the chest, the activation in the glutes, and the reaching down into the floor of the hips. And let's go ahead and drop gently to the floor, undo the grab of the toes, press the hands into the floor beside the wrists, and then we're going to send it back to a child's pose. Just taking a little counterbalance, letting the heart melt, moving really slowly into this posture, releasing the back body. And we start on the floor because the next few back bending postures we will take are all bow pose in a different position. So we've already done it. So the next pose we're going to take is going to be our camel pose. Okay, so walk your knees as wide as the mat. Now, if you'd like a little extra cushion underneath the knees, feel free to fold the mat over from the side or fold it over in front of you, okay? Finding any extra cushion that feels good, because we'll be here on our knees for a little bit, okay? If you want to put a blanket under there, you're welcome to. Again, all just options. Maybe you don't want anything, also cool. Okay, from here, to do that back bending posture, we have a couple of options. One might be toes flexed. Now you're seeing this is just like in our bow pose that we just did. Maybe your toes are on the floor, okay? Maybe you bring a block back to the outsides of your feet so that it raises the floor up a little bit or a lot of it, however far you need, okay? So in this posture, the first thing we're going to do is lift up and out of the waist so you can feel the spine lengthen. Then take the rib cage and knit the ribs in towards one another, and you'll feel as if your core is cinching in towards the midline. Inhale, lift from the heart, so you're opening the shoulders. And then as you exhale, you'll take the hands first on the hips, fingers pointing up, lift the heart, and feel as you actively engage the glutes and push the hips forward, that similar opening motion. We'll leave our chin tucked in until it feels safe to drop it back. You'll know, your body will feel ready. It shouldn't give you any pain. From here, if you'd like, you can reach back, grab that block that's nice and ready for you, and continue to lift up through the chest and push forward through the hips to give you that extra space to back bend safely. If you would like and you feel ready, you're welcome to reach one hand or both hand back for the heels, lift the heart, send the hips forward, and then maybe you drop the chest down. Now, we're just doing the basics, so this is where we will stay. But options, you can always drop hands back behind you, reaching them up over the head and towards the floor to move into Kapotasana. But today we're staying in the basics, so we'll stay here. When you're ready to exit, bring hands towards hips, palms face up. Then as you exhale, slowly lift one vertebrae at a time before bringing chin back into chest, sending the hips back, and taking child's pose. Maybe in this child's pose, you just let the arms fall out to the side. Palms face up, fingertips behind you. Maybe you reach the palms forward, taking a little rest. All right, so now that we've entered those back bending postures, we're going to take two last postures, and both of these come from lying on the back. One of them, just like bow pose and camel pose, which we just did, and another is going to be our full wheel expression, okay? Getting through the basics here. Go team. All right, so for our bridge pose, you're going to bring the heels in as close to the glutes as you can. I'm going to invite you, if you have a block or a pillow here, to place it between your knees so you can really check on form and make sure that our knees aren't splaying out to the side. So we're really activating through the glutes, okay? Just like we've done in all of our other postures. Then your feet, they're flexed here, okay? They're pressing against the floor. You're going to act as if you're pulling the heels in towards the body to give you more space. Hands and arms can remain flat on the floor, and you can press the floor away, or you can clasp the hands behind the back once we lift the shoulders and the heart towards the ceiling. Okay, so if you're ready, all together, we're going to inhale, lift the hips towards the sky, squeeze the inner thighs together, roll the shoulders under the back body, chest drives towards chin, heart lifts, and then interlace those fingers and you can send them long, finding your bridge pose. Maybe here, even grab hold of the ankles, just like we do in bow pose or in camel. Okay, same posture, but here we have the chin tucked in towards chest. You can really feel how much the chest is lifting. Every breath, I'm going to invite you to lift the hips higher and send the chest more towards the chin. Keep the neck nice and long. And then to exhale and lower, slowly roll the shoulders under the back body, and then let the spine lower one vertebrae at a time. All right, for our final posture, we will take a full wheel pose. If this is not in your practice and it's something you don't feel comfortable with, I urge you to please do this with support, with another person there to help you. If it is in your practice and it feels like you are ready and nice and warm, then What you can do is join us in this pose. If you're not ready, go ahead and take bridge pose again. That bridge pose is an awesome place to learn some of the confidence and flexibility, strength that is needed for a full wheel pose. Okay? So here, you're going to take your fingertips and place them on either side of the ears, pointed back towards the shoulders. Squeeze the elbows towards one another. So you don't want them flying out to the side. Squeeze them towards one another. And then we're going to lift up nice and slow. Same way we lifted into bridge, by lifting the hips and the heart at the same time and landing on the crown of the head. So lifting up, landing on the crown of the head. Okay, the weight here is in the heels and the palms of the hands, squeezing the elbows together, squeezing the inner thighs together. So the weight is not in the head, but that's helping you to get set up. And then as you exhale, press yourself all the way up. Hips reach for the sky, heart reaches for the front of the room, pressing into the palms and the knuckle pads, the fingers, so that you can really invite the triceps closer, actively engage the glutes towards the sky. Nice work. Maybe you play with different sensations here by reaching one leg forward and stacking the other on top. Maybe you just let the head hang heavy, or play with tucking chin in towards chest. All just options. But then as you exhale and begin to lower, bending into the elbows, maybe first coming to rest the crown of the head on the floor, or maybe tucking chin in towards chest, coming back into that bridge pose where we'll all meet. And then exhale, lowering the hips all the way to the floor. Inhale, bring the knees in towards chest. Gently rock back and forth, massaging the low back. And that's it. Those are the back bending basic postures. Of course, there are many variations and different depths you can go to if you spend a longer time practicing than we did today. But hopefully, next time you go to a class and the instructor shares one of those postures with you, you'll say, I know what to do. Let's take a big inhale, hug your knees. As you exhale, close down the eyes, widen the feet, let the palms face up. As you take your next exhale, let everything go, really let the body sink into the earth, letting those movements integrate. Maybe letting a soft smile touch your face. Feeling gratitude and love for yourself for showing up here today in these moments. Whether you've been practicing yoga for a long time or today is the first day, it's always good to learn and to review and to try to experience a beginner's mind, experience the new within the old. If you're ready to come back into your day, into this space, wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe rock the wrists and the ankles side to side, then reaching the arms up overhead. Toes stretch long. And then as you exhale, cradling the head and the arms, bringing the knees in towards chest. Turning onto one side. Before slowly and gently pressing yourself back up to a seated position, eyes remain closed. Inhaling here, elongating the spine by rooting down through the tailbone. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Thank you for joining me today, friends. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. It is so fun to be going through this journey with you, and I am honored that you have chosen to be here. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments or send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. This is so fun, and I cannot wait to see you back here again tomorrow.